Hello, bitches and hoes, and welcome to the JMC cast. This is the Joseph and Michael cast, but without Michael. Anyway, this week we have two films. We have a Spanish film chosen by my good friend Noah and co-host Noah, and another film, a rather nice French film, chosen by my friend David. So, yes. But first before we get into those films, I've got a question and a bit of a role play, if that's okay with you chaps.
Okay.
Interesting.
So,
go ahead.
Noah, you're going round to David's house the day after his birthday.
Okay.
David thinks, oh, well, he's come to give me a present because he kind of disappeared last night at the party. What you're actually doing is last night at the party, you got super high and fucked his cat. Noah, you are trying to... Well, David, in this scenario, has a cat that you have fucked.
I have a dog.
Yeah.
Okay, you fucked David's dog then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Need consistency.
So, Noah, you're trying to get rid of the evidence, which is the condom around the dog.
Okay.
Yes, so go.
Right. Hi, David.
You're right.
Yep. Hello. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm just doing a little thing to raise some money for myself. I'm doing a charity dog walk. Any donations would be great. So, if I just come in and grab your dog, honestly, you don't need to do anything. I've got all the stuff. I'll just come and grab him, and take him out for a walk. Would that be all right? Any donations you can give me afterwards? I just need to get to the dog as quick as possible. It's all for charity.
He's got a bit of morning sickness at the moment. You might have to wait a bit.
Morning sick? No, honestly, I've got some medication for that. I can help him out. He should be fine and dandy.
Oh yeah, go on, take it.
Cool. So just don't follow me and don't look at the dog until I bring him back. It's all part of the charity thing. It's a very very special type of dog treatment we do. So if you just pop your eyes closed, walk over there, and I'll be back in about an hour.
Got a bit different from a coffee morning, isn't it?
No, honestly, it's all for charity and no other ulterior motive.
Okay. Oh yeah. Why would I? That's a charity, yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I'll just. Yeah. Thanks. Goodbye.
Well done, lads. That was very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now...
That was not what I was expecting to do today, but that's alright. Keep me on my toes.
What is everybody here's favourite words, is the question.
Favourite word?
Favourite word.
Word. Joe, I wish you gave us these flipping questions beforehand, because you've put me on the spot here. I would have gone away and written a whole scene on how to remove a condom from a dog.
Well, I just came up with that on the spot.
Okay. Favourite word is you know what, I like flange. It's good. It's a good word.
What's it mean?
Flange. I don't know. It can mean what you want it to mean. That's a bit flange, or what are we having for tea? Flange. Or just as a generic sound effect. Flange. Please, you know what? My challenge for you tomorrow: get it into a conversation somewhere.
Well, I'm not in college tomorrow, so.
Surely you'll see someone. There you go. Get it in the conversation.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I had to take a condom out of my dog. Was a bit of a flange.
Yeah.
It was
exactly.
a bit.
That's the right kind of context we're looking for.
God.
Anyway, I think my favourite word is anathema. It just sounds cool, like instead of I hate it, it is anathema to me. It just sounds more sick.
Enough.
That's good. More sophisticated. And then you also get the joy of people asking you what it means, and you get to explain it to them slightly smugly.
Right. Without any further ado, we have 2 films to review.
Okay.
So if any...
Yeah.
Actually, Ryan, did we hear your favourite word?
We didn't.
I don't very often think about my favourite word. It would probably be superposition.
Superposition, I like that.
Yeah, it's just a good word, yeah.
Yeah, so I superposed this over this. Just very good.
There you go.
I like that. Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Right, on to the films. So, does anybody here have a coin near them?
Yeah,
Is that a yeah?
yeah,
See?
2 beans.
Wow. Biggest
coin. Watch out.
Right.
Or is it?
So, shall we say Haine for heads and the Motorcycle Diaries for tails?
Sounds good.
Ow. No, I'm bad at flipping coins. Give me a second. Tails.
The Motorcycle Diaries.
The Motorcycle Diaries. Where are we going to start with that then?
Your film, why not? You start.
Okay, I will start. It was suggested to me by my dad. It's about Che Guevara, the freedom fighter, the Cuban freedom fighter, I believe, and not his freedom fightingness, but in his earlier career, he did like a round South America trip with his friend, and it's been based upon his entries into his diaries, I'm pretty sure, and like what they got up to on the trip.
Yeah.
That's what I gathered.
Very good, very good. Yes, I think that is the plot. Yes, I would have to agree 100%. Yeah.
And what do you think, Joe, about this?
I thought I liked the film, but I couldn't stand Che himself. I felt he was a bit of an unlikable arsehole, to be honest. Like,
Which one? Because they were both called Che, I'm pretty sure.
okay, smart arse, but the famous revolutionary Che. Because, like, listen, a guy is fixing your motorcycle for free, and you try and bang his wife at a party. It's a bit of a dickhead move.
That's a very reasonable point. I did not understand that scene, actually. I thought, what is he doing? What thought is going through his head?
The man is just a
just
slave
on
to
the
his
woman.
own horniness.
Yeah. I thought there were some points where he was a bit, I don't know, we could say obnoxious or arrogant, i.e. when he tried to swim across the river, or succeeded in swimming across the river,
Oh yeah.
instead of just asking to use the boat or something like that.
Yeah. And David, what did you think of the film?
Reading the plot on Wikipedia seems quite interesting.
Have you not seen it?
No, sorry.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's a bit of a plot twist.
Yeah. Have you watched Haine?
No, I have, yeah.
Okay. Well, at least you've watched one of them.
The one that I recommend.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's all right. So, from reading the plot, you thought it sounded interesting. Good.
Important
Yeah.
historical figure.
I think there's been a couple of films about him. this one specifically is more of a past thing rather than a present one. What did you think, Joe, about the acting? I thought the guy playing Che Guevara was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good, but I thought the guy playing his friend was better actor. And I was also quite interested with all the extras they used as the lepers, because they do look like actual lepers. I was just wondering, did they use lepers, or did they just use extensive practical effects?
That was my thought. I was going to research, but I didn't have any time to do so. But in the shots at the end, like the black and white ones of the pictures, it was sort of like it was some sort of half documentary, half film. Because they were probably I don't know, cured lepers, I guess.
Cured lepers.
But I thought the two of them had good, it was realistic, as in, you go away with your best mate, you're bound to get cabin fever, or on the road fever as they had, and just getting irritated at each other and mucking around, but then they'd always become friends again. And I thought I was realistic. I can see if I went away with a good friend,
like me,
they might get annoying. Yeah, like Joe, if I went away with you to South America, you'd probably get annoying, but in the end, we'd still be friends.
I had a bit of a plan a few years ago where I was gonna go around Europe with Jude, Henry, and Michael, but then I was the only one that wanted to do that, so we didn't.
You were the only one?
Well, going on the trains, and I have a big 6-man tent, and I'd save a bit of money, and then we just go train it on the trains around Europe.
That sounded good. I don't know why they didn't.
But they didn't want to do it. It's mainly because I guess they were just scared.
Yeah, I can see Henry being scared. Anyway, we digress. Back to the film.
Ryan, what were your thoughts on the directing?
Yeah.
Who directed it? I've never heard of him. Well, I'm sure he did some good work.
He did some pretty good work, yeah.
Come on, you've got to make something up here. Pretend.
Yeah, I really liked that scene where, the one with Shay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
I thought the directing in that one was really good.
That was a good scene.
Joe, what did you think about the nuns?
I thought the nuns were pretty cool, general nuns, dressed all in white, you can't go wrong with a good nun. I'm reading Measure for Measure at the moment, and that's got a nun in it, so,
Right.
So, nuntastic. I thought the nuns were brilliant, as good as nuns can be.
I have a feeling that they were genuine nuns, that looked after some sort of leper colony. That it just seemed like that was they just rocked up and been like, "Do you mind just saying a couple of lines? Filming for us." Maybe the mother superior might have been an actor, or an actress. It just looked really realistic, and I don't know whether that was just down to good acting and directing, or whether they did do it sort of semi-true. Because do you know when it was made?
2004.
2004. Wow. Okay. I thought it was older than that, to be honest.
It does give that kind of vibe. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Don't know. Did you watch it with subtitles or dubbing or what?
I watched it with subtitles.
Okay. Yeah. I did the same thing. I couldn't find a dubbed version, actually. I don't know whether they would have done one or not, to be honest.
It took me ages to find it, because I'm used to buying, not buying stuff exactly, just using illegal software to obtain movies, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I had to rely on my father.
Yeah, no, I bought it legitimately from Amazon Prime.
You nerd.
Nerd or just general.
Nerd.
Okay, yeah, okay, fine. I'm a nerd. Well, when the police find this podcast and arrest you, then I'll be laughing.
Yeah, but you'll also be a nerd, so who really wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, shut up.
You've got a very unusual accent, David. Are you like Polish or something?
No.
No, you're from Manchester, aren't you?
Well, yeah, good observation. It's Lancashire accent.
Lancashire, okay. It sounds quite Mancunian.
Yeah, Mancunian is quite similar to Lancashire.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from like Preston.
Preston.
Okay.
I know Preston.
Yeah.
I mean, Lancashire's
that's
nowhere
somewhere,
as good
yeah.
as Cheshire. Cheshire for the win.
You what?
Lancashire's
You know.
nowhere as good as Cheshire.
No, you're wrong. I'll have you know that Mr. Twist is from Lancashire. And he's a great man.
Yes, but where from
Of course he is.
Cheshire?
He's from Lancashire.
We're not from Cheshire, we're from Merseyside.
Yeah, but Merseyside.
worse.
Merseyside. Are you chatting shit about Merseyside?
What's wrong? The Merseyside isn't part of Cheshire.
What?
No, but he
There's
said
like two parts.
he said Merseyside is even worse.
You know what? There are some parts of Merseyside that may be worse. I won't name them. But yeah, it has its good parts and it has its bad parts, just like I'm sure Lancashire does. So.
Good part of Merseyside that's in Lancashire, and then the part that's in Cheshire. You don't want to go in that part.
No.
Okay.
Right.
Gangster.
Yeah. I don't have much else to say. I thought it was just a general. It was a good documented film. It could have certainly been executed worse, and it could have. I could see it under the wrong direction getting quite boring, but they managed to keep up the energy and the goodness of it, and it was entertaining like the whole way through. It was informative, but also entertaining, which I thought was good. One part that I made one note in the whole film, and that was great shot with the gun. David, you haven't watched the film, but at one point they go to a lake and they want some food, so the other guy whose name escapes me, not Che Guevara, the other one.
The other Che.
There's a duck flying, and he just pulls up the gun, bang, shoots it, and it falls into the water.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, that is a good shot. That was probably the most striking moment of the whole film. No, but yeah, that was my one note.
One note.
Is this supposed to be a historical film?
Yes.
It's dramatizing his diary, his motorcycle diaries, because they did like half the trip on a motorcycle, and then it ceased, it stopped functioning, but then they did still find their way
To
eventually.
be fair, they got all the way to like Peru from like Argentina.
There were some parts where they were like just driving along, and then it seemed, just to keep the action up, they threw themselves off the bike again. Like when they sort of just plummeted into a nearby stream. They went off in the snow. They couldn't keep it straight. They went off on the dirt.
They have bad direction skills.
I guess.
Indeed.
Because I know, having watched a few like historical dramas, it's always a balance between the accuracy and the entertainment value, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and they managed to get that balance correct. It was a good balance in this film, I thought.
Yeah.
And they did seem to use direct quotes as well from his diaries. Oh, that was always a good one. They could have been paraphrased to make it more poetic, as it seemed, but I imagine it probably was true, if not very similar to the truth.
One would imagine.
One would hope.
One would hope.
Yeah.
Right, shall we move on to final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Do you want to go first, Joe? I just dropped something on the floor. Sorry, you didn't need to know that. What were your final thoughts, Joseph?
I thought it was a very good film. You know, accurately depicted Che Guevara, Chain Guava, whatever.
Che Guevara.
Che Guevara. Che Guevara.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not the best historical film. Like, I've watched better. So, like, I don't know, 7.5, let's make it a 7.75.
7.75. This is going to be a very decimal placey final score.
Giving it to 3 significant figures.
David, what were your final thoughts gonna be?
It does sound good. Okay.
What would you give it?
Actually watch it. What would I give it?
What would you give this film that you have read the plot summary of?
Well, I like number 7, and it grossed 57.7 million, so I'll have to give it a 7.7.
7.7. Joe, you've got some maths to be doing now. I'm going to give it a 6.3 recurring. No, that's a joke. I give it 7.2 plus pi divided by the square root of 64.
Positive or negative?
Shut up.
In the words of Mr. Eccles, you're about as funny as a burning orphanage.
Okay. I thought it was a good film. I enjoyed it. I'm not really one for historical films. It's not really, doesn't really tickle my fancy. But this one was good, informative, but also entertaining. I had good all-round acting. So I'm gonna give it. I will also give it a 7.5. It was up there. It was a good film. Certainly better than Crap Week.
Crap week, definitely. Right, David, do you want to introduce Haine?
God. You know, well, I only have watched this because I do A-level French, so... And I'd just like to say that your pronunciation is absolutely atrocious.
How would you pronounce it?
You what, sorry?
How would you pronounce it?
Line?
Line? That's just line.
God. You what?
That's just line. Line?
They don't seem to pronounce many of their H's in France, I've noticed. My form tutor is French, and our head of year is called Mr. Hayes, and he is Mr. Ease.
Yeah, they don't pronounce the H. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So how would you summarise line then?
God. Just call it hatred, please.
How would you summarise hatred, David?
Yeah. Well, it's called line, which means hatred.
Alright.
So it's essentially a... Well, it says it's a crime drama. It's about... Because obviously it's about France, Paris in the 90s.
Ugh.
So obviously France takes a lot of immigrant. It has a large immigrant population, specifically from Algeria and France.
And
Not
Algeria and
French
France?
people. But Africa and...
Is it Arabia as well?
Yeah, so it's about a group of 3. There's a Jewish man, and North African, Arab, and like, let me get my West African gentleman. And it's about the conflicts between these different ethnic groups and French police. Because
was it the point that one of those guys' mates got arrested and then severely beaten during interrogation?
Yeah, the interrogation scene. Oh God, I remember watching that. It was quite intense.
Was it? Of the Arab boy, as they put it in the film, I don't know.
What's Said?
Yeah. Was that? I honestly don't remember that.
Yeah, he's Maghrébin, which means North African. Okay. I have a little French coming in clutch here.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, so it's because obviously it follows a period of about a day or two, I think.
Yeah, a day.
Yeah, because
it ended at like 6 a.m.
Yeah, oh God, the ending is something else.
I know. I thought it started with those lines, and they repeated the lines at the end, which I'm pretty sure is what happened in Motorcycle Diaries as well. The lines at the start ended the film. I'm going to be honest. I'll start off with my opinions here on the film. It really was getting a bit tedious and a bit boring.
Yeah, definitely towards like the middle, where they're just going around the town.
That's exactly it. I thought I was just watching a group. Well, I was watching a group of lads go around making general noise and shouting unnecessarily at people, and just being generally rude and disrespectful, disgusting.
Because obviously they're pretty much just what we would call chaps, aren't they?
We would call them over here scallies.
Scallywags.
Well, it's short for scallywag, but yeah.
The main the main guy, not the little one. Who's the I forgot his name.
The Jewish skinhead.
It's Jewish.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure him. I saw him in. He's gotten big in Hollywood, I think. He's in Jason Bourne, as an assassin guy. But my dad was saying he actually recommended me this film as well, saying about how this was like his breakthrough one that got him going.
Yeah, because his acting is really good in it, isn't it?
It was good. They're all good actors. They did convincingly portray some lads who are cross about what's happened, and the whole thing really was almost like a GCSE drama piece, as in it was looking at the mental health effects of basically their mate being beaten up, and they all don't know how to react, and they all react differently. Like the Jewish guy just wants to kill a police person, but then when it comes around to it, he can't, because
who stops him?
the other guy just likes insulting people. And the other one seems to take his anger out on doing boxing, which seems to be the most sensible of the three.
Yeah, but then it's at the start, because it opens with an actual footage of a riot, doesn't it?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Because obviously it is a film, but that start of it, I assumed was just actual footage.
Yeah, it's actual footage of a riot that happened, I think. Right. Well, what you were saying earlier about it being a GCSE drama piece, it is actually an A-level French film that you study.
Oh,
that
wow.
I study, which is why I know about it, because I don't really watch foreign language films, to be honest. What was my point? Yeah, so there is a lot of depth to the characters. Yeah, it certainly explored that at the end. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, and what I was saying, there's riots at the start. I think it was Malik Yusakin, who was a real person that was killed by the police in France. Right. So the director, Kassovitz, I think is his name, obviously aimed to make a film highlighting issues with police brutality in France. Right.
Certainly I've had a political week this week. It's been it's been one about Cuban freedom fighters, one about police brutality in France. So how can you study it for French A-level?
How come?
Yeah, like, I don't know how what language A-levels got. I assumed you just learn the language more in depth, but like, what's the point? Is it because the teacher got bored and thought they'll just stick a film on?
No, you have to study like a film and a book. So we study this as a film, and we have to like write essays on the characters and the themes, like we did in Jesus the English.
Okay, but you have to do it in French.
I have to do it in French.
Wowzer.
That's tough. Yeah, but it's actually quite easy with Haine, which is why I like it, because there's so much character depth that I find. And there's so much depth to the issues it covers that it's actually quite easy to analyse.
Certainly, yeah, there's plenty to write about, certainly.
Yeah, definitely.
What were your thoughts, Joe?
I thought
really anything that stuck out to you?
I thought that this was a very good film. I think it accurately portrayed a bunch of scallies on a night out in the town, just wrecking shit.
But then also highlighted mental health issues.
Yeah, it also highlighted mental health issues, which is also very important.
Yeah.
The amount of acting that these three people had to do, I thought it was phenomenal, because they all, I don't know how experienced they were, but they all seemed like damn professionals, and like, well done. They were fantastic.
Fantastic.
I honestly was thinking about 40 minutes in, I'm gonna go downstairs and Dad's gonna ask me what the film was like. I'm gonna say rubbish, but I saw it through to the end. I thought, you know what, maybe something will change at the end, and it did. It did certainly wrap it all up, which is why, you know, endings are important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember because we obviously watched this as a class when college were on.
Yeah.
It was, the boring did seem like, the middle did seem like really boring, because they're just going about the town, walking about, and then the ending comes, and I just remember the ending was just like silence for like a minute.
It was quite shocking. It was unexpected.
Yeah.
I did not think, spoilers for anyone listening, but the Jewish guy gets shot in the head. I'm fairly certain, we do know he does, fairly certain accidentally, because the guy who did it looked quite shocked that he'd like accidentally pulled the trigger. And then really annoying, but also suspenseful. We don't know who died. Whether it was the African guy or the
Police officer.
Yeah, it was certainly very.
Yeah, it was so much suspense, and I remember thinking, has the film ended?
Yeah, I watched through all the way through the credits just to see, in case, you know, maybe it'll reveal, and because you feel bad for the smaller guy, because you don't want him to lose both of his mates. He's already lost one.
Well, he's lost two, hasn't he? Because the guy who died at the beginning.
Say that again.
His friend who was lost to the initial police brutality was another one of his friends who died.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. He doesn't want to lose all three then.
Yeah, and he always comes across as really quite innocent in the film.
Yeah, he was all bark and no bite really. He went around shouting at people. Exactly. So really, and you could see in his facial expression, it was too much at the end there.
Yeah, because he closes his eyes, doesn't he? And that's the shot he ends on. So he also opens the film with Saeed opening his eyes, and then he finishes the film with him closing his eyes.
And those lines as well about not jumping or the fall, and it's not. I can't remember, to be honest. About how it's not the fall that counts or something like that.
Yeah.
It's how you land.
Yes, the fall that counts as the landing. Something like that.
Exactly. So it had an effect at the time. So.
Yeah, it's very impactful.
Yeah.
I find.
The Jewish guy kind of looked like Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo movies to me. I don't know if any of you guys...
I like how you're picking up on all these. That was probably what they were going for, to be honest. Group of lads around the town and to rip off some English.
Well, it was American. Scooby-Doo's American.
Is it?
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera, innit?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was English. I suppose it is Warner Bros, isn't it? It was just because okay. Shut up. I don't remember Scooby-Doo, okay?
Yeah, neither do I. I remember thinking Vince were a bit of a wanker during the film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's an absolute plonker.
He was quite insane.
He was, yeah.
I think it only come to him because he was cross and frustrated that his friend had been attacked and well eventually dies.
Well, it's also like because there's that scene with him in the mirror doing gang signs and gangster impression. It's also like him wanting to be a gangster, isn't it? Thinking he's hard.
Exactly. He doesn't. I think he wants it all, but then once he gets into it, realizes he's out of his depth because he can't kill two people. One, the police officer, then the guy who, the group of people that accosted them after shouting at them from
the Nazi,
and then the police officers at the end.
Yeah, he realises that he doesn't, because Hubert, he convinces him to give him the gun, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then the irony is that Hubert ultimately ends up being the one that kills someone.
Yeah, I feel like one of the comic relief of the film was the guy in the apartment.
Oh god, Mr. X.
I felt sorry for him.
Yeah, he was insane.
Oh, that guy. I thought you meant the guy in the boxes they called Walmart.
No. Asterisk, the guy who they almost didn't find, and then.
Yeah, because he's like high on cocaine or something, isn't he?
I think that was what he was doing.
Saeed was going to get his cash or something.
Everyone seemed to owe him cash as well. But then he was joking, and then he suddenly got all serious because he did his whole Russian roulette magic trick.
It was bloody scary, that.
But he didn't actually have any bullets in. That's the thing.
Yeah, he did some like magic trick, didn't he? Or he tried to pass it off as a magic trick, and then he got into a confrontation with it. And then they got nicked outside his flat, didn't they? Yeah. Someone complained about them, but only Saeed and his bear got nicked while Vince was they let him escape. Because the police at that time were very much racist.
Yeah, you can. That's sort of the underlying tone / issue that they're trying to address, which, you know, ironically is an issue we've got at the moment. It seems to have come back round to it, only not in France now, but, well, no, in France, all over the world.
Because I know
Mainly
I
in
had to do some
America. Mainly, it's all kicking off in America.
Yeah, and then it's having a sort of like knock-on effect in Europe and other places.
Yeah, there's definitely issues here.
Not as bad, I would like to say,
No, I think that, yeah, not as bad.
but still issues.
Definitely.
Issues that shouldn't be around. So, you know, the film's, I suppose, attempt was to present these issues to people in
Yeah, to the public.
Exactly. It was sort of like a read between the lines kind of thing, you know. It was the lads on the town and everyone mucking around, but then also actually stop. It was sort of really a Brechtian kind of technique going on to get into the theatre-ness of it. It made you stop and think really as to what was going on.
Yeah, it's not overt, it does it quite subliminally in a way.
Yeah.
Like what I said with only Vin's escaping, it doesn't shove that in your face, you're left to infer it, and he's treated differently. But they never outright say that. And again, they also, when they get to Paris, he sees a police officer in Paris and he calls him Sir. And he makes a comment about that, about how the police would never call him Sir in the suburbs, the banlieue, which are essentially like rough neighbourhoods that he comes from. So it's also about
All three characters have different depths and different backgrounds and different reasons as to why they're rightfully so cross with the police, i.e. whether they're being mistreated themselves, or whether in one of them, their cases, they're just cross because they've beaten up his mate.
Yeah, I think.
It all became clear that it unfolded throughout the whole thing that you don't. I didn't realise it was happening until it finished and the whole thing was done. All the characters had more to them than just rude people being generally antisocial to citizens. That we were being presented their case as to why they're cross.
Yeah, you realise that it's not just stupid reasons. You realise they've actually got reasons to be cross. And especially Hubert, I know, because he had a boxing ring, but it got burnt down by the protesters, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
I was unsure about who burnt them down.
I don't think they said it implicitly, but it's implied the protesters did it, and that Vince might have been involved with the protesters when they did it.
and they somehow drove a car into his studio, even though the door is too small, and it's like, how?
I assume they just smashed it through. The little guy was going on so much about how small that door was. He's going, oh, yeah, the door's too small. Couldn't have got the car in here. The door's small. That's a small door. And it's like, yeah, mate, we know. We're aware that the car is in there unexpectedly.
Yeah, Saeed's like the really chatty one, isn't he?
Yeah.
He just seems to... Yeah.
I was wondering what his name was, because in the subtitles it was literally said, but with the like an umlaut, I guess.
That means the I is pronounced separately, so it's like Saeed.
So Saeed, okay.
Saeed.
Because their accents were quite difficult. Obviously, I don't speak French, but I couldn't really make out many words from them. It's all sort of seemed to be clustered together. I don't know your thoughts as a French person.
We had to have subtitles on, could hardly understand them. It's very colloquial French. It's very, like, chav French, so to speak.
Yeah.
Lower class.
Yes.
You won't hear it in the French Senate or out.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that it's now time for final thoughts. So I'll blow my horn of plenty. The horn of plenty
what
has
was
been blown. Time for final.
The horn of what?
What my horn of plenty? You
Oh, wow.
you blow it when there's plenty of something.
Production value.
Plenty of opinions.
Plenty of opinions for final thoughts.
Thanks, Joe. Who do you want to start off?
David, why don't you go first, seeing as though it's your film?
Yeah. I think this is like my favourite part of the A-level French curriculum because it's just so much depth. It's a great film. The actors are all great. It's a good message, and it's quite unassuming at first. It's like the ending that puts it all into like perspective.
Yeah.
It's just a really great film in my opinion, to be honest.
What would you give it out of 10?
Oh. I don't watch many films, to be honest, but I'd probably give it like 9.5.
9.5. That's a pretty decent score. What about you, Noah?
Maybe. I considered giving it a 10, but I think I'll lean on the conservative side and say 9.5.
Okay. Right, Noah. What would you give this film?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was very good message, and certainly made you think about issues. My only, see, I'm not even gonna make a complaint about it getting boring, because after like analysing it just then, it just makes you think that actually, if you see it through to the end, there was a point to all of that going on. It wasn't just to fill time or just to have a muck around. So it was good. Just, if you're gonna watch it, you do have to see it through to the end. Don't give up. I did almost turn it off, but I thought, you know what? No, I'm gonna see it through, and I'm glad I did. You've just got to persevere, and it will certainly pay off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of 10. Yeah, it's a tough one, because it comes under such quite a specific category. Within its category, I'm gonna give it like a 9. I want to say 9. It was good. It's a very different genre to like a Marvel film or Star Wars or something. But within, because you can't compare this film to other mainstream ones really, because there's nothing similar about them. So it really has to be judged within its own right, I think. So yeah, 9. There you go. What about you, Joe?
I'm going to give it an 8.32 because whilst I did enjoy it, I felt like it could be a bit shorter, perhaps.
Okay.
I would disagree.
Oh.
Because it just, even though it definitely does get boring, it has a purpose. Because it's like showing you how meaningless, how frivolous their lives are.
Yes, it does show you how meaningless and frivolous it is to be French.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I don't think that's what he meant there. Let's not cause any intercontinental battles here. We love you, French people.
No.
No,
So 8.33 was that, Joe?
Something like that.
Cool.
Anyway, I think that's us done. So, yeah, we have been the JMC cast. See you next week.
goodbye.
Bye.